Hi, I'm Fadi Beiruti, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create this photo that you see here using the quick selection tool, blurring, layers, and the magic eraser. Let's get to it. To make this photo look really good, you will notice that you have to have the moon behind the buildings and you have the clouds sort of covering over the part of the moon to make it look realistic because the moon would naturally be behind the clouds. To create the photo, I'm going to go on Photoshop and I'm using Adobe Photoshop Elements and it's the 2019 edition. I would click on Expert and I have my 3 photos that I will use to build my skyline. The photos are actually the ones I'm going to show you. So you have the picture of the city that looks like that. That's the original picture we're going to start off with. Then you have the picture of the moon all by itself. And last but not least, the dramatic cloudy sky. Now, all of these pictures I shot myself on different occasions, so I do own them. And I do own the rights to using them. Just to get that out of the way. So let's get on the panel for Photoshop. I'm going to have to open all 3 photos in Photoshop. So I'm going to open the city and then I'm going to go again to File, Open and select the moon. And I'm doing it slowly and step by step so that you could follow. Feel free to stop the video at any time. So now we have the sky, the moon, and the city. And I'm going to use the city as my main photo. So here I'm going to need to turn on the layers by clicking on that side. I'm going to need to duplicate my layer. So you right click the layer and you click duplicate. You get a copy of the background. Looks good. And now I'm going to get the sky to replace the sky that we see here. And in order to do that, I need to do the following steps. First, I'm going to use the selection tool and select the entire sky. Then I'm going to go to Edit and select Copy or Cut. Either one will work. Then I'll go back to the city and I'm going to try and zoom out a little. And I'm going to go Edit and Paste. And that places the sky on a layer by itself above the 2 layers that I created for the city. Notice that I'm on the city and the sky is on the top layer. Now, in order to continue, I have to move the layer where the sky is right behind the city layer. Now, the sky, if you notice here, it's sandwiched in between the 2. That looks good. Now, to reveal the layer below, I'm going to use the eraser and select the magic eraser. The magic eraser removes an entire class of color as long as it's uniform. And if I click one time here, after selecting the right layer, of course, don't make that mistake, you select the layer that is on top and you click one time and you find where you have a different shade of blue and you try and take it out. There's one more here. And now sort of you can always get those little ones that don't get you. So now you have the sky in the background clearly visible. And if you want to get the clouds to move around, you can do that by selecting the layer and moving it around. You can also stretch it depending on what you want. Now that we have taken care of that, we're going to move on to part 2, which is bringing the moon over. And to do that, we're going to have to go to the moon and go to the page of the moon and then use the quick selection tool. And remember, the quick selection tool sort of detects what is it that you're looking for and snaps into it. So we're going to click in the middle, drag a little, and there you see it snapped to the edges. Now you could refine those edges and do some better work, but for now we're just going to take it as is, and I'm going to go to copy, and I just copied the pixels that make up the image of the moon. Then I'm going to my city, and I'm going to edit and paste. And now I have the moon on a layer that I need to move right here so that I would see the background, the sky, the moon, and the top city. If I do that, I'll be able to move the moon wherever I want, behind the buildings and in front of my dramatic sky. Now, this looks good, except that in the world, the moon is behind the clouds. So in order to make that final touch, I'm going to duplicate the sky layer one more time. And now I have two skies. And I can easily sandwich the moon in between the two skies. Now the moon is hidden behind this layer here. And to reveal it, I'm going to use the same technique I used before. Click on the magic eraser, select the layer covering the moon, and click on the part of the sky that's hiding the moon. Now notice that the clouds remain because they are a different shade. And this makes it more realistic. Clicking on the moon now and trying to move it, it will move behind those clouds. Looks real? It does, but not 100% the way I want it. So in order to make it really get rid of those edges on the parts where the clouds are, I'm going to use the blurring tool. And this is a new thing for some of you. You select that layer, and then we're going to go and click on filters. And under filters, I'm going to select blur. And then I'm going to select Gaussian blur. And with that, I could determine how blurry I want my clouds to be. I'm at 2.7. If I go further to like 5 pixels, you don't want to go beyond 4 or 5, depending on your taste. You click OK, and now your clouds are sorta, kinda blocking the moon, and it looks more realistic. Now, of course, you can tinker with that even further and play with how opaque the clouds are. You could also go to the moon and try to enhance by adding some brightness. So make the moon a little brighter. But all of those are things, or you can make the moon even a different color using the color replacement tools. All those are things you can get to choose to make your picture more dramatic and personalized. You can also make the moon bigger or just a tiny bit smaller. That's it for this part. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.